Bueno, espero que entiendan que estando en un congreso internacional, siento la obligación de hacer presentación en inglés. No obstante, cuando ninguno pregunta cómo organizar la presentación, no hay ningún problema en prepararse. Soy el micro. La obligación de hacer la presentación en inglés, pero cuando tú me preguntas cómo hacer la presentación, no tengo ningún problema en discutir o aclarar un poco más cualquier concepto que haya quedado muy claro. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank to the Congress organization, especially Roberto Cejuela, for giving me the opportunity to be here today, presenting this presentation to you guys. For me, it's quite nice to be like in Spain, like home. Several faces I know, a few people I've been working with in the past, and a lot of friends. So it's quite special for me today being here. We're going to talk today is about swim and triathlon, especially the approach that we're following with our triathletes back down there in New Zealand. And we're going to start with the similarities between swimming and triathlon. I would say there's not many really, even if I say that body sports, they swim 1500 meters. But it's completely different, not only because one is from the pool, the other one is from the ocean, the lake, and they swim with like 40-50 people around you. So because the goal is very different. In swimming, you pretty much got to be the fastest. You're the fastest, and the one who's going to win. But in triathlon, do you really want to be the fastest? Or, as Ivo was saying before, you want to make the first lap, it goes 20 seconds max, and then save as much energy as you want? That's probably what we're looking for. We don't really want the fastest swim in the water, we want the ones making the first pack and saving as much energy as possible, especially because then you're a cycle and you're a run. So the question is, so why do we train swimming technique as the swimmers do, or the swimming coaches do, when the goal is completely different? We don't want to have the fastest match, we want to have the most economical. So why do we always copy that technique? So that's what we're going to talk about it today. So how do we learn efficient swim technique in swimming? Pretty much that efficiency is related to the constant speed. When the swimmer, the athlete swims in the water, his speed increases and decreases with the swim stroke. Some parts of the stroke are a little bit faster, some parts of the stroke are a little bit slower. That's what is called the intrinsimic velocity in the literature. The higher those intrinsic variations are, the more energy cost is needed to swim. So if your speed decreases quite a lot, you're going to get a lot more energy. That's pretty much like when we're driving a car. We're driving a car and you can use like the third gear, second gear, so you accelerate and decelerate the car. But then you can't just do the third gear and go consistent. Probably the first one you're going to take, it's going to take a lot less petrol than the second one. You're going to notice because the price of the petrol is more expensive now. So if you go consistent, you're going to save a lot of petrol. That's with the human body, it's pretty much the same. So the more consistent your velocity and the stroke is, the less energy cost you're going to need. So that's quite the first important point. So we need triathletes swimming with a consistent swimming speed through the water. But how do we do it? In swimming, that's what is called the kayak principle. The kayak principle is pretty much, well, you can read the presentation, right? It's pretty much, we place the arms simultaneously in opposite direction, in opposite position to achieve a continuous proportion. Like we will kayak, when we paddle in a kayak, when one paddle is pushing, the other one is recovering. So we always want one paddle in the water, pushing water. So the proportion is consistent. It's why it's called kayak principle. What is that? This is pretty much especially when we're walking. When we walk, we just go one leg, another leg, another leg. It's gonna give us like continuous proportion, always. This is the best way to get around. It's costing a lot less energy. What's happening in triathletes? I've seen a lot of them swim in the water, like what is called a catch and stroke. In Spanish, nadar en punto muerto. So they're going like pretty much. You're swimming like one in here, and one in there, rather than go completely opposite. So the consequence of that is that their speed is going like what? They're suddenly going accelerating, stop. I haven't seen anyone walking in the street like that, right? So that's pretty much the same. If we see an athlete swimming in the water, we should say that he's walking in the water. There's no stops in the way. The stops in the way is going to cause a lot more energy. So that's what we should be focused on. In the literature, there's a lot of research about that. They call it opposite stroke. They measure a lot of really good investigation group in France working on what they call index of coordination. It's pretty much the same. They say the index of coordination should be close to 0. That means there are no stops between the propulsion between the two arms. That's what we're talking about. Continuous proportion. So, how is that when we see the swimming pool? How does it look? That's pretty much an example. It's actually a swimmer from his retired at the moment. And we can see he's probably was a master of this kayak principle, right? He's swimming comparing opposite proportions, pretty much consist in the water. They did a lot of research on the aviation energy cause and stuff, and a lot of researchers demonstrate that he's not the most powerful one in the water, but he's the one with the best coordination, and the energy causes really a lot louder than all the swimmers back in those days. But some people can say, well, but that's swimming, right? We're talking about triathlon here, and that's true. So let's have a look about what's happening in triathlon. We're in Spain, so we're going to have a look to E2 race of last year in Madrid to see what was going on in the water. Okay, so we've got the first group here, and see the first triathlete doing the swimming pipe. We can see very opposite stroke. There's a lot of mistakes in there. Okay, I would say the entries are not very clean, jumping a little bit in the water. Well, we can talk about a lot of things. But the main thing is his stroke is really opposite. We can see that he's rushing as well, so probably there's something to be about that. But well, anyway, there's a lot of, we're going to see a better view now of military athletes, and pretty much all the ones who are leading the swimming pipe, they're swimming really opposite. We're not talking about if they're swimming the high position, if they're going wide, if they're going really nice and in the body. We're talking that if they're opposite. That's like the big picture. Sometimes we're working like in small details. We're forgetting about the big picture. You can see that the strokes, all the strokes of the swimmers of the leading pipe are really opposite. You can see breathing is probably not that nice. And swimming coach will find out a lot of technique mistakes in them. But the real issue is that those guys are leading the front paddle, so definitely better than the others. We're going to go a little bit farther along in the race. So we can see now it's their view. This is obviously a bit. So we're going to go a little bit farther. So in the second lap, completely in this race, the group broke down. I mean, the two groups were created in the front. And we're going to see a little bit what's happening there. So this is a group in here, breaking wise, quite hard to see probably in here. If you have a look at the races, those races on the internet, you can see that those guys here at the bottom, they're having problems with the timing part. They've got one arm and the other arm and the other arm. When the other ones can go all opposite. I mean, if you want to increase your speed, you got to go opposite. Right? It's like when you're running, sprinting, you can't run fast like that. Right? You gotta go opposite, otherwise this not gonna work. So that's pretty much the concept that we're working on in the museum at the moment. Like how to get our triathlon swimming with that opposite stroke.